Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, as the war between Hamas and Israel rages on, Russian President Vladimir Putin is in China today, meeting with President Xi Jinping at an international forum. It's Putin's first major international trip since the International Criminal Court indicted him for war crimes in Ukraine. ABC's Patrick Reevell joins me now with more from Kyiv. Patrick, what message is Vladimir Putin trying to send with this visit to China?
Hi, Dan. Yeah, Putin is in Beijing right now. He's at this Belt and Road Forum, which China is hosting with a number of other international leaders. But this is the first time that Putin has been in China since shortly before the invasion of Ukraine a year and a half ago, when at that time Putin and President Xi announced their so-called no-limits friendship. And so this time, again, both sides are trying to signal a closeness and a warmth for each other. President Xi called Putin his old friend. But I think also there was a lot of caution on both sides about not really talking about Ukraine directly, at least when they were together. And that's because China, while ultimately being very, very important to Russia in terms of providing economic support, and also, we believe, in trying to provide some types of armaments to Russia, it also has been trying to keep Putin at a certain arm's length and trying to make it appear that China is neutral in this conflict, even though it does ultimately quietly help Russia. But I think ultimately this does send a message that Vladimir Putin is not isolated and that he does have a very important ally in China.
Now, Ukraine is also now using these powerful U.S.-supplied long-range missiles. They're reported to have inflicted heavy damage on 2 Russian helicopter bases in Ukraine yesterday. Ukraine had been asking for these missiles for over a year, so how important is it that they have them now?
I think it's very important that Ukraine has these missiles now, the ATACMS long-range missiles. The Biden administration was very reluctant to provide for a long time, but the reason that they matter so much is that they have a very long range. These ones are even the shorter range versions than the Ukraine had been asking for, but they are still 100-mile range. And that means that Ukraine can now strike Russian positions pretty much anywhere in Russian-occupied territory. And that means they can now hit Russian air bases like they did yesterday, and where they appear to have inflicted significant damage, believed destroying a number of attack helicopters. And that matters because ultimately the air superiority that Russia has had using those helicopters in the south has been a key blocker on Ukraine's counteroffensive. And so it does really help Ukraine try and even the balance and try and undercut that Russian air superiority. And already I think the timing of this is actually significant as well, because we're hearing reports this morning that Ukraine has mounted a major operation in the south, trying to push across the river in Kherson. It's not clear yet how large that is, but Russian bloggers down there are suggesting that this is a significant operation, so it's something to watch.
All right, Patrick Reevell in Kyiv for us. Patrick, thank you.